I don't want to blindside you, but we have some breaking news coming in right now.
Yeah.
Mr. Trump's youngest son, Barron, apparently now will not be a delegate at the RNC this summer.
For years, Barron Trump has been the most mysterious member of America's most talked about family. While his father dominated headlines and his siblings took center stage, Barron stayed almost completely out of sight. But recently, that started to change. From shocking family secrets and surprising college moves, to rare public appearances and even a wild time travel conspiracy, new details are finally painting a clearer picture of who Barron Trump really is and what might be coming next. Because the truth about Donald Trump's only son? It's not what anyone expected. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see Barron Trump in a way you never have before. He's now worth $150 million. Barron Trump has always been the quiet one in the family, tall, reserved, and mostly out of the spotlight. But at just 19, he's making headlines of his own after reports surfaced that he now holds a $150 million stake in a new crypto venture called World Liberty Financial. For years, Barron kept things low-key, while his dad and older siblings stayed in the political and business spotlight. That changed when the venture launched its own digital token late last year, and Barron's name popped up as one of the key holders. Most of his stake isn't cash sitting in a bank, though. It's made up of tokens, which means the value could swing depending on how the crypto performs. Still, it's a huge deal for someone his age, and it shows he's starting to make his own mark. What's interesting is how different this move feels from the rest of his family's path. Instead of politics or real estate, Barron seems to be dipping into digital finance, something that actually fits his generation more than his father's world. People close to the Trumps say Melania has been careful about how much Barron appears in public, so if he's taking on a visible role in it, it's probably been thought through. So while Barron still mostly stays out of the public eye, his quiet involvement in crypto hints at what might be next, a more independent future where he's not just Donald Trump's youngest son, but a Gen Z face of the next wave of digital wealth. Barron Trump became the first boy to live in the White House since JFK Jr. For decades, the White House has mostly been home to presidential daughters, from the Obama sisters to the Bush twins, and before them, Chelsea Clinton. But that all changed when Donald Trump took office. His youngest son, Barron Trump, became the first boy to live at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in more than half a century. The last time a young boy lived there was John F. Kennedy Jr., whose father was tragically assassinated in 1963 when JFK Jr. was only 2 years old. After Trump's 2016 victory, presidential historian and author Kate Anderson Brower told CNN that Melania Trump might find it helpful to connect with past first ladies about raising kids in such a unique environment. In fact, Hillary Clinton once did the same. She reached out to Jackie Kennedy for guidance when she and Bill Clinton moved into the White House with their daughter Chelsea. Donald Trump didn't expect Melania's pregnancy news. About 6 months after tying the knot in 2005, Donald and Melania Trump got some unexpected news. They were going to be parents. Melania later shared that her husband's reaction wasn't exactly immediate excitement at first. "He came home one day last August, and I told him he'd be a daddy. He needed a moment to process it. It was a real surprise. But then he was very happy," she told People. Donald chimed in too, saying, "I always expected we'd have children, so I wasn't completely surprised. But I was surprised by how quickly it happened. It was very fast." Barron Trump and Melania stayed in New York during the early months of Trump's presidency. Children have long been part of White House life, from the Obama daughters to the many presidential kids before them. But when Donald Trump took office in 2016, Melania Trump made an unusual choice. She and Barron wouldn't be moving into 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue right away. As the New York Times reported, Melania wanted her son to finish the school year in Manhattan without interruption. Officials confirmed that she and Donald's youngest child would remain in New York for at least 6 months after the inauguration. Beyond school, though, there was another reason for her hesitation. According to People, Melania wasn't just worried about the nonstop media attention Barron might face. She also had a deep love for New York City and wasn't in a rush to leave it behind. Eventually, in June 2017, she and Barron joined the president in Washington, D.C., marking the end of their quiet stretch in the Big Apple. Melania Trump still uses a very old nickname for her son. As Barron Trump has gotten older, many have pointed out how much he takes after his father, and not just in looks. According to Melania Trump, Barron shares plenty of his dad's traits, which inspired her to give him a nickname that's stuck over the years. He is independent and opinionated and knows exactly what he wants, she told Parenting. He is a mixture of us in looks, but his personality is why I call him Little Donald. Melania also revealed that Barron deeply admires his father's confidence and success. He likes the way he talks, the way he is, she said. They have beautiful respect and admiration for each other. Even when he was younger, Barron mirrored his dad's sense of style. In a 2013 ABC News interview, Melania shared that her son doesn't mind putting on a suit, and even as a little kid liked dressing up in a tie sometimes like Daddy. Melania Trump is fiercely protective of her son. Melania Trump has always been known for keeping her circle small. Even during her modeling years and later as First Lady, she mostly stayed close to her family instead of surrounding herself with friends or social circles. And according to People, that hasn't changed since Donald Trump left office. She's still extremely private and keeps a close watch on Barron. Melania's friends are her family members, a source shared in 2023. Many Mar-a-Lago club members and others know and see Melania, but they aren't friends. They don't hang out or socialize. She's always surrounded herself with family. She's a devoted mother to Barron and very protective of him. This is nothing new. The same insider mentioned that Melania's parents, who also live at the Trump estate in Mar-a-Lago, are very close to Barron and have played a key role in his upbringing. Then, in March 2024, another source told People that Melania's main job is taking care of Barron. They added, Barron is shy and reserved, and she's been a good mother to him all these years. Melania is all about Barron and her family. She's always been family-oriented, and aside from a bit of charity work, family comes first. From day one, Melania has taken her role as Barron's protector seriously, especially when it comes to his safety. Back in 2018, when actor Peter Fonda tweeted that Barron should be taken from his family to protest immigration policies, Melania immediately reported him to the Secret Service. The tweet caused massive backlash and was later deleted. Unfortunately, Barron has continued to face unwarranted criticism. During Donald Trump's impeachment trial, Stanford law professor Pamela Karlan made an inappropriate joke involving his name, and Melania didn't hesitate to speak up. She tweeted, "A minor child deserves privacy and should be kept out of politics. Pamela Karlan, you should be ashamed of your very angry and obviously biased public pandering and using a child to do it." Though Melania didn't take further action that time, Karlan later issued an apology. Still, it's clear, when it comes to Barron, Melania doesn't let anything slide. Unlike his well-known siblings, Barron Trump prefers to keep a low profile. While the rest of the Trump kids have had their fair share of media attention, Barron Trump has managed to keep things pretty private. He's the youngest among Donald Trump's 5 children, with Donald Jr. and Eric from his dad's first marriage to Ivana Trump. Then there's Ivanka, who not only worked in her father's administration as an assistant, but also acknowledged how unprecedented her role was, according to USA Today. Her husband, Jared Kushner, also served as a senior advisor during that time. Donald Jr. and Eric are frequently in the spotlight because of their executive roles in the Trump Organization. The 3 oldest, Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka, were also key players during their father's political campaigns, taking the stage at the 2016 Republican National Convention. Even Tiffany Trump, Donald's daughter from his marriage to Marla Maples, joined in to publicly support her dad. Barron, though, he's been noticeably absent from all of that. Much younger than his siblings, he skipped the big political events and stuck to living more like a normal teen, focusing on school and his own interests instead of business or politics. Some people respect that, saying he's smart for keeping his privacy. Others wonder if he'll ever take part in the family's ventures. Either way, Barron seems content staying out of the noise, quietly shaping his own path away from the chaos that comes with the Trump spotlight. He was nowhere to be seen during his father's farewell speech. When the Trump family officially left the White House in January 2021, it was a big moment. They boarded Air Force One together, bound for Florida, as the Biden administration prepared to take over. Donald Trump gave his farewell speech with Melania by his side, and most of his children, Ivanka, Donald Jr., Eric, and Tiffany, were there too, joined by their partners and kids. But one person was noticeably missing: Barron Trump. As the 45th president wrapped up his send-off on the tarmac, he told the crowd, "Have a good life. We will see you soon," before he and Melania stepped onto the plane. And while people confirmed that Barron was indeed on Air Force One heading to Florida with his parents, he wasn't seen at the speech or even during the boarding process. Given that Barron is both the youngest Trump child and Melania's only son, his mother's protectiveness likely played a big role. Throughout Trump's presidency, Melania went out of her way to shield him from the spotlight, and his absence from that highly public farewell was probably just another example of her keeping him out of the media glare. Barron speaks multiple languages. One of the coolest things about Barron Trump is his multilingual background. Thanks to his mother's Slovenian roots, he can speak more than one language. In fact, he's fluent in both Slovenian and English. Back in 2009, Melania told people that Barron was also picking up French, making him a trilingual toddler at the time. According to Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Mary Jordan, author of The Art of Her Deal, Barron still speaks Slovenian with his mom to this day, even when Secret Service agents are around. Jordan explained to CBS News, "There's a tight-knit unit within the family, consisting of Melania, her parents, and Barron. They all speak Slovenian. That means their private conversations stay truly private. Not even the Secret Service can follow along." Jordan also mentioned that this language barrier sometimes left Donald Trump feeling a bit out of the loop. He has admitted it sometimes annoys him because he has no idea what they're discussing, she said. Barron Trump made a rare appearance at his father's 2024 campaign launch. When Donald Trump kicked off his 2024 presidential run in late 2022, one surprising face showed up in the crowd: his youngest son, Barron Trump. After losing the 2020 election to Joe Biden, Trump announced his comeback bid from the Grand Ballroom of Mar-a-Lago, surrounded by family and supporters. Barron didn't take the stage or make a speech, but his appearance definitely stood out. Not only because he's now taller than his dad and siblings, but also because he rarely attends political events. According to Insider, Barron entered the ballroom alongside his brother Eric, Eric's wife Laura, and Ivanka's husband, Jared Kushner. Missing from the event were Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump, both usually strong fixtures in their father's campaigns. The Daily Beast reported that Donald Jr. couldn't make it back in time due to bad weather while on a hunting trip. Ivanka, on the other hand, made it clear her absence was intentional. In a statement to the Daily Beast, she said, "I am choosing to prioritize my young children and the private life we are creating as a family." With Ivanka stepping back from politics, it's possible that Barron could step into a slightly more visible role during the 2024 campaign. A shift that would mark a big change for someone who's mostly stayed out of the spotlight. Mongolia gave Barron Trump a horse as a gift in 2019. World leaders often exchange unique gifts as symbols of friendship and diplomacy, and some of them can be pretty unexpected. According to the Washington Post, these gestures represent goodwill between nations and serve as a way to strengthen ties. Over the years, several U.S. presidents have received live animals from other countries. Ronald Reagan once got a baby elephant from Sri Lanka. George H.W. Bush received a Komodo dragon from Indonesia, and Richard Nixon and his wife were famously gifted 2 pandas from China. Following that tradition, Donald Trump's youngest son, Barron, received a rather memorable present in 2019, a horse from Mongolia. As reported by the Associated Press, gifting horses is a long-standing Mongolian custom reserved for dignitaries. Barron's horse, fittingly named Victory, stayed in Mongolia, but Barron described it as beautiful. At the time, Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham said the Trump family was very grateful for the thoughtful gift. He's off to college and closer to home than before. After completing high school in Florida, Barron Trump took a major step, enrolling at New York University for his freshman year in the fall of 2024. But here's the twist. As his sophomore year began in 2025, Barron didn't return to NYU's main Manhattan campus as expected. Instead, reports say he quietly transferred to NYU's smaller Washington, D.C. campus, allowing him to stay nearer to his parents at the White House. His mother, Melania Trump, has commented that he's doing great, enjoying his college days, and she's very proud of how he's handling things. In short, Barron's education path has shifted from high school in Florida to college in New York, and now to D.C., reflecting both his teen transition into adulthood and his family's unique circumstances. As Donald Trump's son, he's faced real threats. Even though Melania Trump has gone to great lengths to protect her son from the chaos of public life, Barron Trump hasn't been immune to the darker side of fame that comes with being Donald Trump's youngest child. Over the years, he has found himself the target of online scrutiny, invasive media attention, and alarmingly, actual threats. One of the most serious cases happened in 2023, when federal authorities arrested a Chicago woman named Tracy Marie Fiorenza for sending violent emails threatening to harm both Donald Trump and Barron. According to court documents obtained by CBS News, Fiorenza's messages were directed to the headmaster of a Florida school and included chilling statements like, "I will shoot Donald Trump Sr. and Barron Trump straight in the face at any opportunity I get." She later admitted to sending the threats during an interview with the U.S. Secret Service. The case shocked many, not just for the severity of the threats, but because Barron, still a teenager at the time, had largely stayed out of politics and the public eye. Online, people across the political spectrum condemned the incident. Say whatever you want about Donald, he's in the public light because he wants to be. His son? A minor? He's off limits, one Reddit user wrote, echoing the general outrage that a child had been dragged into political hostility. Unfortunately, this wasn't an isolated incident. The rise in political tensions across the U.S. has led to a surge in threats against public officials and their families. Federal data shows that arrests tied to such threats have nearly doubled in the past decade, as social media has made it easier for extremists to direct harassment toward high-profile figures. The Trump family, given their visibility and polarizing reputation, has often found themselves in the middle of that storm. Despite all of this, Barron appears to have handled the unwanted attention with a level of composure beyond his years. Following his high school graduation from Oxbridge Academy in Florida in 2024, he enrolled at New York University's Stern School of Business, the same university his sister Ivanka once attended. A source told People in August 2025 that Melania remains deeply protective of him, often checking in and maintaining a strong presence in his life as he adjusts to college. Interestingly, Barron isn't living in a traditional dorm. Instead, he continues to reside in Trump Tower under tight security, balancing the college experience with the realities of being the son of one of the most recognizable men in the world. He's trying to live a normal life, the source said. But that's not easy when your last name is Trump. Former First Kids have stepped up to defend Barron Trump from online hate. Even though they come from different political backgrounds, A few former first children have spoken up in defense of Barron Trump whenever he's been unfairly targeted. The criticism aimed at him, from his looks to his behavior, started as early as Donald Trump's inauguration. One of the first to speak out was Chelsea Clinton. Right after the 2017 inauguration, she tweeted, "Barron Trump deserves the chance every child does to be a kid." A few months later, after the Daily Caller mocked his choice of clothes via People, she doubled down, saying, "It's high time the media and everyone leave Barron Trump alone and let him have the private childhood he deserves." Chelsea wasn't the only one who called it out. Jenna Bush Hager also voiced her irritation about the unnecessary criticism, telling People, "The truth is, obviously Barron Trump didn't ask his dad to run for president. It wasn't his decision. He's kept mostly off the public radar as his father's political storm continues." While Donald Trump's second presidential campaign and legal issues swirl all around, his youngest son, Barron Trump, has maintained a notably low-profile life. Instead of attending rallies or press gatherings, Barron has quietly been focused on school and personal growth. In early 2025, his enrollment at New York University's Stern School of Business emerged into public view, along with sightings on campus under heavy security, as the 18-year-old navigated this next chapter. At the same time, hints of his role behind the scenes surfaced. Reports noted that Barron advised his father's campaign on Gen Z outreach and media platforms, a behind-the-scenes gig rather than a front-and-center role. And when taken together, it seems Barron and his mother, Melania Trump, have consciously chosen this quieter stance. Rather than becoming another visible symbol in the political spotlight, he's created space to figure out what he wants away from non-stop exposure. He trended on TikTok thanks to a time travel conspiracy theory. If you thought TikTok conspiracies couldn't get any weirder, wait till you hear this one. Barron Trump recently went viral on the platform after an old 19th century book resurfaced, sparking a bizarre time travel theory that had the internet buzzing. The novel in question is Barron Trump's marvelous underground journey, written way back in 1888 by author Ingersoll Lockwood. In the story, a boy named Barron Trump, yes, spelled almost the same, embarks on adventures guided by his mentor, a wealthy man named Don, while living in Castle Trump. That's not even the strangest part. Lockwood also wrote a follow-up book titled The Last President, which mentions political unrest, a controversial election, protests in New York, and even a cabinet member named Pence. Naturally, TikTok went into overdrive. Users started connecting the dots, pointing out the eerie similarities between the fictional story and the real-life Trump family. Clips dissecting the coincidences quickly racked up millions of views, with captions like, "Time travel? Coincidence? Or something bigger?" flooding the comments. While experts and historians have since debunked the theory as pure coincidence, that hasn't stopped the online frenzy. Between the uncanny names, the Don mentor reference, and the political themes, the internet couldn't resist spinning it into something supernatural. So, no, Barron Trump isn't secretly a time traveler. But thanks to TikTok's obsession with strange coincidences, his name once again became one of the most talked about on the platform. He may be stepping into the spotlight soon. For years, Melania Trump has gone above and beyond to shield her son, Barron, from the chaos that often surrounds the Trump name. Ever since the family left the White House in 2021 and settled into their quieter life in Florida, Melania has made it clear that her top priority is keeping Barron's world as normal as possible. Even during Donald Trump's presidency, Barron's public appearances were rare. No campaign speeches, no interviews, and no spotlight moments like his older siblings. While Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump became key figures in their father's political circle, Melania consistently worked to make sure her son stayed far away from that scene. But that might be changing. In late 2023, rumors began swirling after Kimberly Guilfoyle, fiancée of Donald Trump Jr., posted a family Christmas photo on her Instagram story. The picture included Barron, and that small detail sent the internet into a frenzy. Fans immediately started speculating that this wasn't just a casual family snapshot. It could be a subtle sign that Barron is preparing for a more public role. According to a former senior aide to Melania Trump, Guilfoyle wouldn't have shared the photo without Melania's blessing. That simple fact led many to believe that the former First Lady may be easing Barron into a gradual transition toward more visibility in the family's public life. With Barron set to graduate high school in 2024, this timing makes sense. He's growing up, becoming more independent, and possibly ready to take on a more prominent role as his father's 2024 campaign heats up. Whether this means stepping into the political arena or simply being seen more alongside his family remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure: Barron Trump might not be staying in the shadows much longer.